All right.
Hello. Yes.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, Kenny. I'm good.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for giving me some minutes to handle my business with my daughter.
Wow, that's
Mm,
wonderful.
mm,
Children are beautiful.
yeah. So
Mm.
tell me, where are you in the Gambia?
Well, currently I'm in Serekunda, one of the second largest town in the Gambia.
Okay.
Yeah, and also one of the most densely populated town in the Gambia, Serekunda. That's where
How
I am.
was the population?
Well, the population is kind of dense because here I think we have over nearly 100,000 people. Yeah.
Wow. The city I grew up in, the state I grew up in, that's Lagos, Nigeria. We have over 20 million people.
Yes, of course. You know, Gambia is a very small country. We're
Yes.
just 2.3 million.
Yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that is it. And then we have small towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you once
So,
again, Kenny.
Lala, let's
Yes.
start. Let's start. I want you to introduce yourself to my audience, tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, my wonderful audience out there. My name is Lala Jaiteh. I am a Gambian by nationality. I work at the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology as a Senior Research Officer on the Directorate of Research.
Okay.
My role is we deal with the coordination and administration of research within the country. We also formulate educational policies, in particular research policies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Good. So, you say you are in the Ministry of Higher Education. Okay. And I know that according to your LinkedIn page, it tells me you studied education economics in China, right? So tell us about that, because in truth, I've never heard about education economics. It's strange to me, but tell us your experience studying in China, because for me, I'm looking at China for maybe even engineering, because they do so many wonderful things, building big constructions and finishing it in a short space of time. So I'm thinking, so what was your experience? Yeah, you're back. So did you hear my question?
Yeah. Okay.
So so I ask you to tell us about your experience in China.
Well, my experience in China, it's not very bad because when I went for studies in 2019 September, after 1 month, the COVID struck out, and then that was really challenging because we were locked up in the room for 3 good months without going anywhere.
Wow.
So it's just like a prison for us, you know. We didn't go anywhere. We were inside. We just have to go and pick our food, come inside, and that's what we did for 90 good days.
Wow.
So that's seeing how it looks like.
How big was that room?
The room is a dormitory, not very big. Well, we have our bed, our little cupboard where we keep our books and place our computer, and then you have your bed, just like a dormitory. How it looks like.
So, wow. So that's the experience during the COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. And when that happened, as I said, we were locked up in the room for 3 months. And then when they opened the gate, we spent almost 6 good months within the campus. We were not allowed to go out because of the strict restrictions. Like we spent nearly an year.
Lala, there's a wind sound.
Okay, sorry. It must be the fan.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Yeah, it's
the fan. Yeah, so it's
yes.
okay.
All right. Yeah. So, wow. So the COVID was wow. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, I know. It's really not an easy thing.
So were you guys able to do some schoolwork during that time?
Yeah, well, during the COVID, because this was the time that we were on a semester break. So
Okay.
after the break, then we started the virtual classes. So we were doing
Okay.
our classes online.
Okay. Okay. So what how was the education? That's the one I really want to know. How, what kind of
Yeah,
standard?
well, yes, studying in China is not a child play.
Mm,
Honestly, it's really tough,
yeah.
and really is a country where we have different culture as
Yeah.
Africans. So and then also the educational system, not bad, but it's different with the West because
Mm,
it's like most of the studies that you do, it has to do with self-study. Yeah, for master's program, after doing your coursework, you are attached to a supervisor who's supposed to supervise you for your dissertation.
yeah.
And some of the lecturers, because of the some of them are not very well exposed, so they have challenges with English language, so language become a barrier. But
Okay.
for me, actually, I was fortunate because my supervisor studied at University of Columbia, one of the best
Okay.
universities, and
Okay.
she's so
Yeah.
fluent in English and she's really good. So she really supervised me very well. It was really tough because I find it very tough with him
Yeah,
having a
it's a
different
master's.
education
Yes, it
system,
should
and
be.
then really it's really very tough, honestly.
Okay.
But the education system is good.
Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. So tell me about education economics. What does it mean?
Well, education economics, from my perspective, I think this is a field that looks at education, the role it plays in the labor market, how to link education to the labor market, that is economics.
Yeah.
So basically, this tries to look at the productivity of education. For instance, we study because we want to acquire certificates and then from there look
Yeah.
for jobs in the labor market. And we believe that with our qualification, we are going to have decent job and then earn better earnings. So, but
Yeah.
in Africa, that is not the reality because you can have up to PhD and still you remain poor. So actually, this has to do with the human capital theory that explains that education increases productivity. But in
Okay.
reality, in Africa, is different. So when I study education economy, I realized there are a lot of factors that are missing in our education system that
Yeah.
should kind of translate the theory that is explained by the human capital
Mm.
theories. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you have done this. So now you're back in the Gambia. Okay. So how do you translate this knowledge through the ministry? How do you guys translate it to the schools and the educational system?
Well, I feel like our curriculum really needs to be rethink. We really need to restructure it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then because the curriculum itself has some issues, and I feel like as a policymaker working at the Ministry of Higher Education, we really need to look into our curriculum. Because when I did my dissertation during my interview with some of the students, because I did explanatory sequential mixed method, first I collected data from the students through survey. And then later I make a follow-up. So some of the things that I got from my participants, they were complaining about the low quality education. So
Okay.
it's like students says that they are not much exposed to practical learnings in the University of the Gambia, because I use University of the Gambia as my case study.
Yeah.
Yes, so they said they don't have much practical, and they believe this is one of the challenges that they have because they have so much of theoretical concepts from the school, and then when they graduate, to practicalize those knowledge becomes very problematic for them.
Mm.
So they believe they are not much exposed, and then also they believe that the economy also is not growing. You know, the public and
Yeah.
private sector.
Well, see, economy cannot grow if the people who are supposed to add value, that is me and you,
yes,
are not doing it.
yes.
See,
I
economy
agree
is not a concept in the sky. It's
I agree with you.
activities.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. And then that is the reason why I believe that we have a lapse in our education system, because what our education system is not designed to make our students to think critically. The critical thinking concept is not embedded in our education system, because when you teach students, is to teach them in a way that they can think, they can produce knowledge. And that has to do with when you expose them, when you're teaching and exposing them, and then they can try to translate what you teach them conceptually into reality. And I feel like this is some of the reasons that this is some of the things that are missing in our educational system, particularly in our curriculum.
Yeah.
So what you said is true. The economy cannot come, is we who have to grow, make the economy grow. And then in that way, how can we do it if the students learn and they understand what they've learned? By the time they graduate from the school, they're thinking of how to create jobs for themselves, not the government or the private sector creating jobs for themselves, but them creating jobs and employing other people.
Yeah, them as members of the private sector create jobs. Yeah. See, you mentioned that our educational system doesn't help build critical thinking minds. Yes. Okay. But it's not only the educational system. Our society do not build critical thinking minds, because to have a critical thinking mind is one thing. Questions, the ability to ask questions. Right. Now, unfortunately, we don't like when people ask us questions, especially questions that the answers are not very visible. Okay. We don't like to sit down and ponder. That question is hard. You see, that's what we actually need, to ask questions. And we need to be free enough that asking questions that people might say are stupid, okay, that we are not penalized for asking stupid questions. Because for me, the stupid questions are the most important, because for you to get the answers to the stupid questions, you have to think totally out of the box.
Oh, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. That is very true. And I feel like those who don't like to be asked questions, maybe they themselves, they don't know. Because if someone asks questions, every question has a logical answer, whether you're able to justify it or not, but every question should have a logical answer.
Okay.
So I feel like that should not be a barrier, for kind of limiting the thinking ability of our youths. They should be able to ask questions. They should be able to think for themselves. And I feel like that is what all knowledge production is all about.
Yeah. Well, I encourage people to ask a lot of questions, because that's what I do. I ask a lot of questions. I don't give answers because I don't know. I ask questions because I want to know.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
So I don't give answers because, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know, but asking the questions is the thing that I like to do,
Yes.
Yeah. So in your view, what are the major challenges in education and research in the Gambia, and what do you think can be done to ease those challenges?
Well, I feel like, as I said, our curriculum has an issue. And then when I say curriculum, is not only about the programs that are taught at the university, but even the pedagogy. need to rethink again the way people are teach in the classrooms. And then again, that has to be looked at, and the government has to be very serious about education, because it's the only way to really develop a country. And when I say education, I don't mean like numbers in certificates acquisition, but I mean education for development, where you can use your
thinking
knowledge.
process.
Exactly, yes. And then with regards to research, I feel like Gambia in particular, I have to talk about Gambia. We are not very, very serious about research. I have to be honest with you. We are not very serious.
And
Although
the same for me, it's the same in my country.
Yes, we are not very serious. We will go to forums, we will go to workshops, we will talk about research, we will talk about evidence-based decision making, but that is not the case. You understand? And then why I say that the government is not ready to invest in research. You understand? Most of their activities are done in the health sector. Sorry. Okay, as I said, research is not cheap. You understand? When you say research, you have to understand that you have to invest in it, because it's not a cheap thing. When you look at our public university, most of their laboratories are very challenged. They don't have enough equipment for the students to do practical experiments and all those things. So the government needs to invest in that. You understand? And then when you come to other government institutions, some of them, they don't keep data. We collect data in these institutions to know what they're doing, whether some of their policies are informed decisions, but we found out that most of them don't do research. So it's like the thing they're talking about, they are not really going by that. If they're going line research practice, that is they should have research units in all their departments, but that is not happening. So I believe that really, if we are serious about it, then we are going to do a lot of investment, and then that does not stop from that cuts across the tertiary and higher education institutions.
You're right. See, I once had a friend of mine, because I studied biochemistry. So I had my former classmate. She's a PhD, a member of my former department and all that. And she complains about research, so see, if I'm talking about Africa, wants to be respected by other countries, research is something vital, data, and we're lagging in that space, so I don't know. You guys have your policy makers in education, so it's up to you,
Exactly.
So I'll ask you a purely most pure economic question. See, one thing I think about a lot is the population.
That is true.
Yes, I'm saying one thing I think about a lot is the population and demography of Africa. Okay. Now, what is the most recent GDP and job figures in the Gambia? And how do you think the everyday citizen think about this?
Well, the current GDP of the Gambia is 1.9 billion, which I think drops. It could be because of 1.9 billion US dollars. That is the current GDP of the Gambia. It was from 2.08 billion, now 1.9. So it could be because of the COVID-19, and then also the political crisis also going around the world. We can understand some of the challenges. But I wouldn't justify all those things or base it on those factors. I know the economy is not very productive. That could be one of the causes of that too. Because if jobs are not created and then people's living of standard also is low, this is likely to happen. Yes. And then for the youth unemployment, we are around 41.5 according to GLFS
No,
survey that
41.5%
5% unemployment.
unemployment
Yes.
in the Gambia.
In the Gambia, yes.
Wow.
For the youth. Yes, for the youth. That is the report that the Gambia Labor Force Survey 2018 gave, because they normally do a labor force survey.
Yeah.
So every 5 years. Yes. So you can see it is very high. Yes, because youths are not employed,
Wow.
So and then you can also see the link to illegal migration, because this is one of the major challenges and problem the government is trying to tackle.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why youths are going towards the back way. Most of them complain that there is no job opportunities for them.
Yeah.
And then, some graduated, some maybe drop out from school, or some have the tertiary certificate and could not acquire jobs. So they feel like the only solution to their life is to take the Mediterranean Sea and go to Europe to find a better opportunities. Wow. Yes.
See,
this is
wow. 41, man.
41.5%. That is the percentage of youth unemployment in the Gambia. Wow. Yes.
See, oh my God.
Yeah. So right now, well, our ministry is trying to do a lot to tackle the challenges, because recently, recognizing the gaps and the challenges in the economy, as I said, 41.5% of the youth are unemployed. So the ministry is trying to see how best they can train youth on technical and vocational educational training.
Yeah.
So right now we have developed a policy on that, and then it has been launched. And then also we just inaugurate the University of Science, Engineering and Technology called USET. So this university actually is going to train Gambians to acquire TVET or technical fields up to degree level. Okay. Because we have a technical tertiary institution, that is DTI, that trains our youth from on technical fields, but up to high national diploma. Okay. So they cannot have a degree. So most of the experts, when you come to technical field, Gambia has to import it from other countries, like neighboring countries like Senegal, Nigeria, Mali, Ghana. This is where we get the experts who will work for us. So we feel like we really need to train our youths. And in training, we make them productive. And also when they are productive, they know what they have learned and they're good at it, then they will be able to create jobs for themselves. And then it will also curb illegal migration to Europe. Yes.
Wow. We have a lot of work to do. Africa has a lot of work to do, because indeed, when I see these kind of figures, and our governments are not doing much to resolve these things. They are most of our politicians are more concerned to play politics than to solve problems. You see, if a politician is doing things to solve the problems that their electorate have, then they shouldn't have any concern about being re-elected, but many of them are not actually interested in doing the work. Wow, man. See, I wanted to ask you about the opportunities available, but based on this thing you just told me of 41.5% unemployment, I don't see a lot of opportunities at the horizon. But do you? So I was asking you that with the kind of unemployment numbers, do you see any opportunity in the horizon that will elevate this kind of unemployment numbers?
Yeah, of course, there are opportunities, because in our ministry currently, we have developed a proposal called the National Innovation Fund.
Okay.
So this National Innovation Fund is a proposal around 80.73 million US dollars to be funded.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when we have money, because we are looking for funders, as you know, there's always a funding challenge. So when we have that, we are going to launch this project, and this is going to avail opportunities for youths in the technical fields like STEM, who have the skills and then they would like to go into business like micro, medium, small enterprises.
Okay.
They will write proposals and send it to the ministry, whereby we're going to form a board, and the board will be experts who will go through these proposals and see those who are worthy to be awarded the fund. And then we will implement, according to your proposal, we will try to do all what you request, and then you will create a job and employ others.
Okay.
So looking at the proposal, we are, if we have the fund, we are going to sponsor around more than 500 micro, small, medium enterprises who are going to run their businesses, and then they'll also recruit,
employees. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one of the ways we can try to cope illegal migrations and also to make the economy alive again. And then we can really create jobs for the youths.
Okay. So looking at all these plans, policies that you guys are proposing, okay, what is your advice to young Gambians, okay, to deal with this circumstance befalling them, okay, and still help them to contribute to their community?
Yes. Well, my advice to the young Gambians, I'm telling them not to get discouraged, not to give up, although it is not an easy circumstance, because as I said, the unemployment rate for the youth is very high. Even those who graduate from the university, they find it difficult to acquire jobs in the labor market. So, but again, the government have plans for them. The Ministry of Education also is trying to see how best we can restructure the curriculum and also try to bring better opportunities for them so that they will not engage in illegal migration. They will have opportunities to create jobs for themselves and then revive the economy back.
Well, I like this thing you've been saying, and you continue saying it. They will create jobs for themselves. This should be a gospel that we as Africans should be preaching to the younger generation. Okay,
that is
because one thing that many of us, many countries, many African countries have done through decades is to expect the government to create jobs. See, no prosperous country, there's no prosperous country where the government is the biggest employers.
Oh, yes.
Okay? So we need to change that narrative, that mindset, and it's people, private people who create the jobs,
Yes.
That's
very true.
Yes. So with all these things going on that you see, what is your vision for the Gambia, for Africa in 20, 30 years time?
Well, in 20, 30 years time, I want to see Gambia in a different, level. I want to see an economy that is very vibrant. I want to see an economy that is controlled by private sectors, like the youths themselves. I want to see an economy that really is evidence-based and is knowledge-based for that matter. And then for Africa, I want to see us being one. because we are one people.
Yeah.
I want to see African countries, going into each other's, country without restriction.
Okay.
I want to see, Africans investing in each other's country.
Yeah.
I want to see the love, the unity. I want us to speak one language because we are one.
That's going to be tough.
No, when I say one language I mean one language of development and prosperity.
Good.
To speak one language of development and prosperity, because Africa has a lot, honestly, and the youth are great. It's just we need to come together. We need to love each other. All those affiliations there, we need to put them aside. We come together. We are one people, and we can do it, because the only way we can be penetrated is through when we have, ill feeling for each other. When we have,
that's true.
All those negative mindset, trying to fight one another, seeing to bring each other down. All these things, we should put it aside. We need to love each other, because this country is beautiful. When we make it, this continent rather, is really wonderful. Africa is one of the most beautiful places in the world. It is. Yes, and then when we work hard, I believe we can make, because it's a paradise on earth, literally, but we can make it paradise on earth practically, because it is a paradise. That is the truth. Yes.
Thank you, Lala. You are wonderful, and I wish you the best in what you do to help the Gambia come out of this difficult time. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ikeni. I really appreciate everything. You are also doing a wonderful job, because meeting your brothers and sisters and then trying to engage them in identifying the challenges, the gaps that is affecting the continent as a whole is really a selfless job. It's only God who can pay you. And then I really pray that Allah, increase you, in all what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.